move your life forward in the most positive way using astrology, then let's talk about the astrological patterns for April 2014. April is a very special month because we finally have the exact cardinal grand cross taking place for April and for May. And that means that we have Uranus, Pluto, Mars, and Jupiter all exactly squaring each other, particularly focused in the middle part of April. This very dynamic configuration needs to be managed mindfully. This is incredibly important because it creates sort of a spiritual weather pattern of high pressure that's going to be pounding on our auras, our energy systems. Certainly people who have planets around the 12, 13, 14 degree of the cardinal signs in their horoscopes are going to be most affected. But it affects everybody, whether you have a planet that's triggered by this cycle or not, okay? So what's going to take place is a high energy activation for growth. Now, of course, that's the Pollyanna in me speaking. I expect something very positive to come from this in the world. You know, what's happening is a revolutionary change in government, in high power structures, in large organizations, in individualism, and there's a lot of conflict. We have high polarization taking place in the government in the United States these days, for the last few years actually, with Republicans and Democrats fighting and feuding and seeing things from completely different perspectives. And unfortunately, there's really not a lot of cooperation taking place. Well, we need to understand that this cardinal grand cross activating in April and may bring some things to the surface that must be solved. It could either exaggerate the fighting and make us very aware that something has to change, or it could provide some solutions where maybe there's a breakthrough. Maybe, hopefully, the Pollyanna in me, the optimist in me, maybe they can find a way to finally work something out. But my point is that the pressure system, astrologically speaking, the weather, so to speak, is intensified enormously. Now, how we deal with that on a personal level is very important. I believe that the message here is we have to be mindful of our own state of mind and not get caught up or swept away with this volatile energy that's pounding on our auras. In other words, remain mindful that everybody is a soul, and within them is goodness, and try not to fall into the picture that we're being programmed into about seeing other people as the villain, us against them. That may dominate in April and May. Now, I also have to say that Vladimir Putin and the issue that's going on over there in Russia and Crimea, Putin has a 13-degree cardinal sun sign. He's going to be highly activated by this. I've been watching his chart closely with this crisis that's going on. We may see some activity with that. Now, there are 2 eclipses taking place this month too. Go figure that when this cardinal grand square finally becomes exact and there is enormous pressure, we also have to have 2 eclipses, which intensifies it even more. The first one is a lunar eclipse, full moon in Libra on the 15th of April. Now, isn't it fascinating that's right when this cardinal grand cross becomes exact? That full moon eclipse in Libra is going to highlight the special need for diplomacy and cooperation. It's the relationship full moon. It's when we look at our relationship patterns and we try to improve them. And then on the 29th, we have a solar eclipse, new moon in Taurus. And that one is wonderful for grounding and making practical all the things that have been stirred up throughout the month. It's vital that we manage the intense pressure and energies of April in our personal lives and that we make the changes that are necessary. And in that way, we should have incredible growth. Just step back from the world, try not to react, and keep in control of your own state of mind. So to summarize the astrological patterns for April 2014, this cardinal grand square becoming exact in the middle of the month at the same time that we have the full moon eclipse in Libra packs a powerful punch. Be mindful of your thoughts about relationship and your ability to cooperate with others. And then the new moon eclipse that's happening on the 29th can help stabilize, but that really is dependent on what you have started throughout the month of April. Take care with this month, and I wish you well in staying outside of all this pressured energy in the world and remaining clear with your state of mind. Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose.